Today's technologies drive many attributes of daily life. For example, cell phones are constantly being utilized in various ways for various uses. They began simply as wireless devices that could only make phone calls, compared to today's 2.3 million apps for Android users alone. The average person uses some type of electronic device, whether it be a cell phone, a radio, computer, or television, almost 11 hours a day. This means that over 50% of the day, when people are awake, they're using some type of electronics. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Pokemon Go, among many other apps, are very popular in the United States and have changed how some people live. Becoming immersed in this online world has changed the way people look at certain venues. For example, people going out for a business meeting are not going to go to a building that doesn't look the part or doesn't have up-to-date amenities like wireless internet or proper space for these meetings. People who are particularly involved in today's technology may not be drawn to the places that don't have a charging port for their phones or don't have enough light to see. But as general focus has turned to a screen the size of your hand, people have paid less and less attention to the buildings and cityscape that looms over them. As cities begin to age and people become less and less interested in the old and more adamant about the new, designers and planners will have an increasingly difficult time creating an area that is more eye-catching and interesting than the LCD screens of today's society. In order to be successful in this endeavor, architects and urban planners have begun creating more user-friendly clean spaces by removing old, worn-out areas like buildings, closed motorways, and abandoned train tracks and replacing them with community buildings, parks, and other facilities. Architects believe they will improve the declining city life. But the question is, if you build it, will they actually come? The answer is not guaranteed. You could have the most architecturally magnificent building, but if it could be in the wrong area, demographic, or economical time frame for the people surrounding it. In the movie My Architect, we saw the bathhouse that was constructed by Louis Kahn. And even though it was very well received by architects and artists, the patrons that were supposed to use it didn't. Soon it was a disheveled mess, and became one of the problems. It became a wasted marvel. As we begin to convert our vehicles, many of these dilapidated spaces will have the potential to be turned into roadways. Personally, I would think that having permits to drive in the city that are given to only essential motorists would solve not only a lot of the congestion in cities, but the pollution as well. But some people believe that converting to self-driven or driverless cars will fix the problem. Honestly, I think they will become part of the problem, as internet hackers have already proven. Yet, the implementation of these vehicles in the future should be taken seriously in today's urban planning. Roadways will need to be altered to meet the demands of these vehicles as well as specified parking areas. People will become even more reliant on technology than they already are today, and this will most likely change city architecture on a large scale. As cities ebb and bow to growing technologies, architects will need to feel the wind in order to really tell how to make city life more enjoyable for the individuals instead of pre-World War industrialists.